Hi, and welcome to the spring greenhouse. It's gorgeous in here right now, and there's so much to be harvested. So come along with me and we'll do a little greenhouse tour and we'll harvest at the same time. Most of our daffodils have already bloomed and I've already harvested them. But these tulips are just coming in and they're so perfect and so gorgeous. So I'm going to harvest some and give some to my friends and my family and enjoy some for myself. I like to strip the bottom leaves off just so that I can fit more in the jar. Sometimes I'll harvest them when they're not quite open all the way, and that way they will have a little bit more time before they go bad in the jar. So they'll last a little bit longer. Look at that color. These are absolutely, these are double tulips, so they look a lot like peonies. I actually planted these so that the varieties tallest would be here, and then shortest going down. So every year I like to try some new varieties. Beautiful white tulips here. And sometimes I decide to grow them again next year and sometimes I don't. And I think that I'll definitely be growing these beautiful purple double tulips and these white ones as well. But I'm not sure I'll grow some of these shorter varieties. They're a little harder to put in the jar and a little harder to harvest. I am also, for the first time this year, considering leaving all of these bulbs here in the greenhouse to come back next spring. Usually I treat these like annuals, dig them up, let them just be treated like an annual, just like cut flowers. But this year I'm considering maybe leaving them and kind of planting the rest of the crops around them. And I have some spinach growing right next to this here. Look at the size of this leaf. This is insane. This is like as large as my hand, and it must really like growing next to these tulips here. I'll take it. I'll be so sad when these are done for the season, but I just love having fresh flowers like this. There's nothing like it. Okay, there's still a few left that I'm gonna leave for maybe another day, and then they'll be done for the season. Wow, look at this. Fresh from the greenhouse, early spring. These ones in particular are really nice. Beautiful fragrance. I love the double tulips. And that's our harvest from yesterday and today. You can see this replete narcissus daffodil. This was the last one from yesterday. These also have a really heavenly fragrance. And all of these together I just think are gorgeous spring arrangement. Okay, so next up is some spinach. And some of these leaves are huge and they've made it through the whole winter. So they're probably going to be a little on the sweet side, but I can't wait to have some fresh greens. Okay, we have another giant spinach leaf here. This plant made it through the entire winter. We had a blizzard where it was like -25 for 5 days in a row, and this survived. So I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that this is probably pretty healthy for you if this managed to survive the entire winter. No scientific evidence at all to back that up. However, just a feeling. Look at this. Yes. Is it as big as my head? As long as my head? Spinach face? Yeah. Let's keep harvesting. Now, this is the farmer in me. We have to go fast. No, we don't have to go fast, but I like to harvest with 2 hands. Grab it like that into the harvest bin. So I just harvested this spinach really not that long ago. But we're starting to get a lot more day length and sunshine and warmth. I've actually connected the irrigation again, so They're getting some water as well, and they are just growing like crazy. So it is spinach season here. Okay, let's harvest this another big giant leaf here. Woohoo! Would you like to be friends with this leaf? Yes. Super green. So I feel like this is enough spinach. I'll give some to some of my family and have some for dinner tonight. This lettuce over here has also survived the entire winter, and I can tell that in not too long from now, it's probably going to want to go to seed, complete its life cycle. So I'm going to harvest this nice, beautiful butterhead. I think that this variety is called Pirat, P-I-R-A-T. I've never known how to pronounce that. I've been growing it for about 14 years and have no idea. However, I think this is a really beautiful salad green. So I'm just going to harvest the whole head. So a couple of weird leaves on the bottom, that's fine. But otherwise, this is looking really nice. Especially the new growth on the inside here is really nice and tender. Let's grab some more lettuce. I just recently noticed that this lettuce has some aphids on it, which is a common pest, especially in greenhouses and especially in plants that have been overwintered and under row cover for most of the season. So that's okay. I just don't want it to spread around the greenhouse too much. And so I'm going to harvest this, and they wash right off before you eat them. So, and even if you get one in there, it's a little extra protein. It's fine. So I'm going to harvest the whole head. It's part of the Salanova collection from Johnny Seeds. And this can also be harvested as like a cut and come again green. However, with this kind of bug situation on here, I'm just going to harvest it whole and replant in this area. So yeah, good amount of bugs here, but that's okay. So while I'm here, I'll tell you a little bit about what else is growing. In front of me here, I have some ranunculus flowers. I sprouted those indoors about a month ago and planted them in here, and I'm so excited to see how they do. I also planted some outside to kind of see the difference in the growth patterns between the greenhouse flowers and the ones outside, but those are another one of my favorite flowers, and I'm so excited to give those a try this year. I also have some Swiss chard growing over here that's not quite ready for harvest yet, but it's looking pretty good. And this dill is just feathery soft. It's so beautiful. I started these indoors over the winter, and we had a real warm winter. So I was able to come in here and get these planted under row cover, and they're just thriving. They look great. So I'm going to harvest a little bit of this, and then I'm also going to harvest some cilantro behind me, because that is just in prime time season where the weather's just perfect. It's not bolting, nice and tender, and I'm going to make a nice meal with all of these things together. I like to harvest dill by just snapping it. You can use scissors if you want, but this also really, oh my God, the aroma here is just out of control. I just love growing fresh herbs because you get such bang for your buck. There's so much flavor here. And this is just unlike anything that you'll find in the grocery store. You know, nothing wrong with grocery store herbs, but this will stay fresh in the fridge, especially if I store it dry like this in a plastic bag. This will stay fresh for like a month. And although herbs can be somewhat cheap in the grocery store, having them just available all the time and this kind of fresh with this much flavor, I just think it's so worth it. This would be really great if I decided to make spanakopita with this spinach. This dill would be an excellent addition to that. Wow, so fragrant. Okay, let's harvest some cilantro. Oh my gosh, look at this cilantro. I know that some people hate this, some people love this, but in our house, we love it. I like to make chutney with cilantro. We make a ton of salsas as well. I like to make sort of a green romesco or salsa verde, just like an herby, olive oily, capery dip, and use that on grilled fish or grilled vegetables. So good. So we have plenty of it. So the more we harvest, the more the plant will grow. And that's something that I love to try to instill with beginner gardeners, is that sometimes it can feel like, oh, I don't want to harvest it, it's too perfect, or when should I harvest it? But the more that you harvest it, the more that it will continue to grow, and you want to be able to get as much out of the plant during the growing season as possible. So I'm just harvesting the outer leaves. Once again, I'll store these in the fridge dry like this, so I won't wash this until I'm ready to use it. Store them dry in a plastic bag in the refrigerator and just use it as I need it. Okay, beautiful bunch here. All right, and look at this cute kale plant. This is absolutely adorable. It's in the teenage phase of its life, so I'm not harvesting it until it gets a little bit bigger, but isn't this so cute? Good job, little guy. So over here, I have some parsley. This I planted last fall in the greenhouse, and parsley is so hardy. It's just like spinach. It really lasts a long time and has no problem sort of freezing, thawing, freezing, thawing. So this is another great one to overwinter. Again, I like to just snap it off like that. Got this beautiful little parsley stem. Such a tasty, fragrant, and wonderful and versatile herb. This will just keep regrowing. Because this was planted last fall and survived the winter, this will want to go to seed soon. It's going to want to complete its life cycle. So good idea to harvest this, and I've already started some more indoors for an outdoor planting, and this will just last all season. It can handle the cold, it can handle the heat. It's a truly incredible herb. And there we have it. Big, beautiful bunch of parsley. And I have to say, the combination of parsley, cilantro, and dill together, when you chop those up and mix them together, it's kind of a magical combination. So great to grow all these things together. Also remembered another recipe. I have what's called the spring green egg bake, and it's wilted spinach with some chili flakes, onion and garlic, a bunch of these herbs all chopped up, and then I like to crack an egg, or crack 3 or 4 eggs in the middle and put it under the broiler, and then finish it off with some feta cheese and dip some sourdough bread in it. So now I'm starving and I'm gonna go make exactly that. Just kidding. But that is a really, really delicious way to use up everything, and it's so seasonal. It uses up everything in the basket, and you can serve it with a nice fresh green salad on the side for brunch. Okay, I think that's it for our harvest for today. We'll come back soon when I've planted this with tomatoes and peppers and eggplant, and we will follow along the greenhouse throughout the season.